Good evening, everybody. I know I'm feeling very dramatic this evening. It's the warm weather in December. What can I say? Before we begin, Medicine Hat Public School Division at Crescent Heights High School would like to acknowledge that the land we are on today is in the traditional territory of the Blackfoot Confederacy. The people of this Treaty 7 region, signed at Blackfoot Crossing in 1877, consist of 3 First Nations: the Kainai, the Piikani, and Siksika. Treaty 7 region of Southern Alberta also includes the Tsuut'ina, Stoney Nakoda First Nations. We'd like to acknowledge and honor that we are also on the homeland of the Métis people. We would also like to acknowledge the traditional knowledge holders and elders who are still with us today and those who have gone before us. For those of you whom I have not met, at least not in person, my name is Curtis Perrin. I have the good fortune to be the band director here at Crescent Heights High School, and behind me in front of you is this year's grade 8 band. These students have been playing their instruments for a little under a year combined time. Half of them had band in semester 1 last year, then took from February to September off and came back. Some of them had band in semester 2 and had a shorter break and came back, but we've been together as a group since September, and I know you are going to be very impressed with the work that they've done just in these last few months. We are going to start in the tradition that was established by my predecessor here at Crescent Heights and the namesake of this theater, Mr. Bill Wall, who believed that you should start every concert with a march. That was his philosophy for programming band music, and I don't always follow it, but every now and then it just works out nicely. So we're going to start with the grade 8s with a march by arranger-composer Michael Sweeney, who writes a lot of really great music for young bands. This is Gallant March. Even though it doesn't feel like it, it is actually getting close to Christmas. I don't know how you all responded to yesterday, but I barbecued for dinner. It was strange and I loved it. So, but as a band director in the month of December, I am contractually required to include Christmas music in my December concerts. Even though those of you that know me know that I am not the biggest fan of, holiday music. But, it's good stuff I have to admit. So for our last two pieces, the grade 8s are going to make their way into the holiday season. And the first one is written with an arrangement called A Celtic Christmas. And this is actually an arrangement of a Welsh carol. And if anybody in the room is from Wales, I am really sorry if I butcher this. I've been watching a lot of Welcome to Wrexham, but it's not helping me with this. It's an adaptation of the Welsh carol Siogan. And its knowledge for me comes from its inclusion in the film Empire of the Sun, which, if you haven't seen it, it's a great movie. Steven Spielberg features a pre-Batman Christian Bale who gets separated from his family at the outbreak of World War II. And this carol is one of the things that, as he's making his way through the movie, that is always kind of with him, and it's always present in John Williams' musical score. So that's where I fell in love with this carol. I love this arrangement because it just makes the band sound good. So this is Doug Wagner's arrangement, A Celtic Christmas.
Have one more for you, and then we are going to do a quick band switch, and the grade 8s will leave, and the grade 9s will come on, and then we'll have some more stuff for you. For the grade 8s, last number, we are going to go to one of my favorite band composers, and James Curnow. He's an American composer who writes a lot of music, both for advanced band, but also writes really great music for young bands as well. And this piece that he has for us is called Jingleosity. Now, what is jingleosity, you might ask? Well, according to Mr. Curnow's words, according to the, quote, James Curnow Dictionary of Music, for what it's worth, that's his words, jingleosity is the state of being into Christmas bells, specifically jingle bells. And while this may not necessarily describe me, it describes a number of people in the band, and really, you can't have a holiday concert without a little bit of sleigh bells in it. So this is James Curnow's take on jingle bells with jingleosity.
to change over. This is where I'm going to take the opportunity to thank. I tell you, kids these days. This is where I'm going to take the opportunity to thank especially the people, and it's mostly senior high parents, but the people who make up my band parent committee and my band parent committee helpers. Especially when we get to senior high, where we start doing fundraising and trips. There is absolutely no way that I could do the things that I do without an active, band parent group, and I'm incredibly grateful for all the work that they do to help me run this program. I'm also incredibly grateful to Jennifer Davies, who's my colleague in the arts at Crescent Heights High School. This is her classroom, and she so willingly lets us use it in the afternoons when we're rehearsing, and then helps us out. I am the envy of my colleagues around the country, around the province, to have a high-quality performance space in-house that is just a hallway away, and she almost single-handedly maintains this space. So thank you for keeping this space active for us. And I say it, variations on it every year, and I mean it every year. I'm very grateful to the administration, both of Crescent Heights and of School District 76. I have come through COVID bright and shiny where a lot of programs have not, and that is because a focus on the fine arts has always been a focus of the administration at this school, and I'm incredibly grateful to them. So to Sean Barth as principal, but also to all of the administration. Ms. Desjardins is here tonight, but to everybody, thank you for keeping a focus on the fine arts here at Crescent Heights. Thank Hello again. So, behind me now is my grade 9 band plus guests, but I'll get to them later. Yes, this may shock you. Not everybody up there is in grade 9. Although, when he arrived this evening, Roger said he was really hoping to graduate from grade 9 this year. So, maybe this is the year. Yeah, we'll get to that after our first piece. The grade 9s are going to start, as did the grade 8s, with our non-Christmas entry into this performance, with a classic that I played when I was in grade 9 band, Robert W. Smith's The Tempest. This is a piece of music that is meant to represent, a storm, exactly what the title suggests. and how it may seem like it's just coming in, and then you have ebbs and flows of intensity, and ultimately the storm ends up reaching you but ends up passing. This piece was chosen not just because I was nostalgic and played it when I was in grade 9, but Robert W. Smith is one of those composers who, like James Curnow, was prolific in band music writing and wrote a lot of music, especially for young bands. And unfortunately, he actually passed away at the end of September of this year. And so throughout this year, the various bands are going to be playing pieces of his in tribute, and the grade 9s are going to be the first ones to do so. So out of sincere gratitude to the memory of Robert W. Smith for many years and many contributions to band music, this is The Tempest. When they chose, because this middle piece was our last minute addition for the concert, but we realized things were going well. We still had a few weeks left. We had some time to add something in. We went to the Christmas books and we thought, let's see what we could find. And when we put this piece forward and chose this piece, we had no idea that on the concert day it would be too warm for anything resembling Frosty to even survive. And yet here we are. So I will invite you to close your eyes and imagine December's gone by, when instead of walking in a light jacket, it was blizzarding. And you were thankful to have the heat of the theater to go and relax you. And then imagine that snowman that everybody knows and loves. This is Frosty the Snowman. parents of people who attend Crescent Heights High School will know that there have been just tiny bouts of illness that seem to be making their way through just one or two people. And if you believe that, you can look at the labs happening around me to know that that's not true. There's been a lot of illness making its way through middle school over the last couple of weeks, and that did impact some members of the band. But one of the great joys of being a 7 to 12 school, and also in my role as a community band director, is that I have lots of people that I can go and pull out of class or call up and say, hey, you want to come sight read some grade 9 band music? And they're always willing to say yes and come and help us out. So I want to acknowledge and thank my helpers helping out the grade 9s tonight. For my senior high band, Alex and Wyatt on trumpet, Robbie on bari sax, and Aiden on tuba. And from my community band, Shelby, who is actually the band director out of Maple Creek, who is helping us out tonight. So I feel like this completes my set, because I had Mr. Bates from Hat High and Mr. Gordon from St. Mary's last year. Now I've got Maple Creek. I just need to get McCoy. Then I've got a full set. And Roger, who is, I think we can graduate from grade 9 this year, Roger. I think we're good. Okay, so thank you so much. But we do have one other guest who is going to help us out with our last piece of music this evening. And joining us straight from the North Pole with a tale of woe is our sad and disgruntled elf. He's a little shy, it's okay. Now, it's been a rough year at the North Pole. And thankfully, we have firsthand witness of what's been going on up in the North Pole. And the band is going to help our elf tell his story in a lovely little piece that we like to call The Diary of a Grumpy Elf.
And today was my first day on the job. Today's temperature reached 25 degrees below zero. This heat wave put Santa in a bad mood. Today was my second day on the job. We made wooden soldiers. Instead of marching in step, the soldiers broke ranks, drew muskets, and began to fight. Dear Diary, today is my third day working for Mr. C, and I got the never-ending job of decorating the castle. I never want to see another bow of holly as long as I live. Dear Diary, it's day 4, and the new reindeer harnesses arrived defective. Instead of having sleigh bells, they came with cowbells. Christmas Eve, and the work is finally done. In spite of the troubles, I'm lucky to be a Christmas elf. Happy Christmas to all, and to all, a good night.
Thank you very much for joining us. If you haven't had enough band music in your life, you're welcome to come back tomorrow evening for the senior high band concert. Same band time, same band channel. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful holiday season. Good night.